Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive into different things that you could do as an agency founder if you kind of just feel like your agency's plateauing or becoming a little bit too stagnant. So we're just going to go quickly over different sort of metrics to look at and how to really affect your agency's growth instead of just sitting by and watching. So a little bit about me. I currently am the co-founder of an automation agency that does work pretty closely with other agencies to create new systems, automate different things, and make sure that they're on the track to grow. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we're gonna go over how to break through the growth plateau. So if you're a founder and you feel like you're treading water, or really just your wheels are always turning and you can't ever break through whatever ceiling you're at, whether that be like 5K, 10K, or if you're a bigger agency and you're stuck at 50K a month, this is going to be for you. So don't feel like you're alone. Many founders experience a sense of stagnation. They feel that despite their efforts, the business isn't progressing, which is super common. This often boils down to really two critical problems. You either have insufficient lead generation and sales activity, or you have a high customer churn rate. And sometimes it's a combination of both. So if you don't have enough leads booked each month, then it's going to be super hard to grow. So you need to increase your lead generation. Or if you have, say, 15 leads a month, but you're only closing 2 of them, you need to figure out how to close. You need to either become better sales oriented, or you need to hire a salesman. And same with high customer churn rate. That usually means your services aren't up to the expectations of your clients. So you need to fine tune those and make them more valuable. So the power of tracking core KPIs. So how do we figure out if we're lacking in one of these different areas? Is going to be through KPIs. So you can't see some of these, but I'm going to read through them really quick. These are going to be the KPIs that we're going to monitor, and we're going to look at monthly, weekly, daily. So you have revenue, EBITDA, customer acquisition cost, customer lifetime value, new opportunities monthly, and your monthly revenue churn rate. So I'm just going to go through each of these really quick, and we're going to talk about what they are, how to calculate them, and how they can help you figure out what the pitfalls in your business are. All right, so the first one is revenue. This is pretty simple. It's just going to be your total income generated each month. So here you see kind of like a book definition of price per unit, X number of units sold. But obviously for you, an agency, you don't really have like units sold or anything. Fundamentally you do, but this is just going to be the total amount on your Stripe balance or whatever. Just however much money your agency generates each month. Next is EBITDA, which means earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So if you're a smaller agency, you're probably not going to have like depreciation or amortization, or you're not going to like really understand how to calculate that, which is fine. EBITDA mostly is for larger companies who are a little bit more corporate, but we're still going to go over it because it is important. So it's pretty much just a measure of the company's overall financial performance, and it excludes costs related to interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So yeah, we're not going to really go over this one today, but it is a good KPI to know / understand. So customer acquisition cost, this is a really big one inside agencies. This is a cost associated with acquiring a new customer. So how you calculate this is the total sales and marketing expenses divided by the number of new customers acquired. Sorry about that E, must have went a little crazy on the PowerPoint. But yeah. So your customer acquisition costs, super important. Most of the time, you're not spending enough on generating leads. You could spend a lot more and still be profitable, and that is kind of super important if you want to grow, because usually more money spent on marketing means more leads, just on the super fundamental level. Not talking about strategy or anything, but if you spend $10,000 on marketing versus $1,000, you're going to get more leads. So this one's super important to understand and look at. Next one, another super important one, customer lifetime value. So this is the total revenue a business can expect from a single customer account over the duration of the relationship. So again, we kind of have just sort of a book calculation here, like a book definition. What I would do is calculate the average client lifespan that you have. So if you've been in business for 2 years, take all your clients, see how long each one of them has been a client for, divide it up, and then you'll get the average. And then take the total amount of revenue that you made that year or the last 2 years, whatever, however long you've been in business, divide that by the number of clients, and then you can find your customer lifetime value pretty easy there by using both those calculations. This one's super important for measuring your churn as well, because you need to know what your average customer lifetime value should be and what it actually is currently. So another one to look at is new opportunities monthly. This kind of goes back to the sales thing. This is the number of new sales opportunities identified within a month. So in layman's terms, this is how many, how filled out your calendar is with sales meetings. So if you have like 10 new leads a month, 20 new leads, whatever, this is just that number. So this is super important to determine if you're getting enough leads to really grow. And the last one we're going to look at today is monthly revenue churn rate. So this is the percentage of revenue loss due to customers' cancellations or downgrades in a given month. Again, not super important for an agency. Most agencies that we work with have sort of like one bread and butter service that they offer. So downgrades aren't really super important, but the customer cancellation part is. That's really important. So you have kind of sort of a little calculation here to figure that out, and that'll tell you your monthly revenue churn rate. All right, so spotting the bottleneck to growth. So we're going to use those KPIs we just discussed to better understand our business and where we're falling short. So again, we got two main issues here that if you're not scaling, I would bet a lot of money that it's one of these two. So the first one is if you're not generating enough new opportunities or taking enough sales calls, you're missing out on potential deals. So this one seems like the obvious answer for most agencies that we work with. They're getting like 5 to 10 leads a month, and they want to be getting 50 to 100. So you need to increase your lead generation. Simple as that. You're not getting enough calls to really move the needle at all. So the second one that we're going to talk about is customer retention, which this one's a little bit more hidden, but it's just as important. High churn. So if you have high churn, that means that you're losing customers faster than you're acquiring them, which is really undermining your growth because it costs about 10 times more to get a new customer than it is to keep your clients that you already have. So if you have this issue, you need to rework how you're fulfilling their service. So you're falling short to their expectations in some way, and you need to fix your service offering. So some critical insight. I know you can't actually see all that, but it just says focusing on these two areas often reveals where the growth constraints lie. Addressing them is crucial for scaling. So simplifying and optimizing customer acquisition. So this is going to go over how we can help you lead gen. So channel focus. Choose one. Select a single acquisition channel to master. So just for a couple examples, we have LinkedIn, cold email, or paid ads. Commit to iteration. So success comes from relentless testing and refinement. Avoid the trap of constantly chasing new tactics without mastering the basics. So just a little input. I think you should spend 6 months to master one of these, and you need to get it right. It's going to take you a lot of time, but in the end, it's going to be worth it. So some common pitfalls we see is inconsistent effort. So success requires sustained focus effort. There's no substitute for putting in the reps. Volume is truly the only way that you can get this right. And to really get that in, you need to avoid shiny object syndrome. So constantly switching strategies without giving them time to work dilutes your efforts and hinders your results. Nothing worthwhile in business or life is a quick fix. Anybody that's trying to sell you a quick fix is most likely scamming you. These things take months, years even, but the results are worth it in the end. The next thing that we have here is diagnosing service delivery issues. So if one of your issues is your churn is high, these are a couple things that you can do to fix that. So you can identify the weak points, look for broken processes in your service delivery. These often manifest as customer dissatisfaction or high churn. A great way to figure these out is through feedback forms. And also just talking with your clients on your meetings. Understand what they're dissatisfied with so you can fix it. So if you really just don't know how to fix this, you can always contact an expert. So if you're like a lead gen service, talk to a bigger agency, ask them, maybe they'll help you if you pay them right. And really just seeking help from experts is a good way to refine your processes. All right, so some key areas to improve. Onboarding, you need to ensure the onboarding process is smooth and sets clear expectations. This one's pretty easy. If you can automate your onboarding process, it's super easy. We have some videos on that too. But this is sort of their first impression of you besides a sales call. So you need to be professional. You need to have all your ducks in a row. It needs to be good. Perfect, actually. The next thing would be communication. So regularly updating clients on project status really prevents miscommunication and frustration. No matter what agency you're in, I would really recommend weekly calls with your clients. Being on the same page and understanding each other is super vital to success, and making them feel like they're really cared about and they're not just another client. So lastly, expectation alignment. Be honest about the results clients can expect to get so that you can avoid disappointment and churn. This is like number one. Your salespeople and the people who fulfill need to really be aligned here, because no matter what, if they oversell and you underdeliver, your agency is going to have lots of churn. So that's another thing to be super worried about / something to change. So proactive measures is to use NPS surveys. Just gather feedback from your clients. This is a great way to identify areas for improvement, because it's from the people that you're working with every day. And don't have an ego. Don't get offended by what your clients say. Take it into, understand it, and you can either implement it or not. But don't get have your ego get in the way of your business. So another thing would be upselling opportunities. So you can identify additional services or products that align with customer needs, enhancing both their experience and your revenue. That's sort of another way that you can just reduce churn and actually increase revenue, is by upselling. Okay, so the transformative power of fixing core issues. So if you can fix those two issues of generating enough leads / closing them and reducing customer churn, you're going to have a growth breakthrough. It's pretty simple. You're going to unlock significant revenue growth and just overall potential by doing both those things. You're also going to get sustainable success. So even if other aspects of your business are failing, resolving those two core issues will automatically propel your business forward. And then you're also going to have the freedom to scale. With those constraints removed, you're going to have freedom to grow your business exponentially, and you're just going to need to do those same things at scale. So you're either going to need to hire more people or automate some of them. Are you ready to unlock growth? If you are, you need to start doing these things today. So you should, number one, be tracking your KPIs at all times. And not even just the ones we went over today. Tracking things like the number of cold emails you send, number of impressions on your ads, number of LinkedIn posts. Things like that are going to be super vital if you want to scale, because they tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong and what you need to fix. So number two here, focus on what matters. Don't just keep changing the copy on your website. Just doing little things like that aren't going to move the needle. You need to prioritize getting new leads and servicing them in a way that they're happy with. And that'll automatically give you immediate improvement. And lastly, your path to success. If you implement these strategies, you're going to watch your business grow from stagnation to dynamic growth, just because the core value of both of them is about, one, providing value, and two, adding new clients. So if you do both those things, you're automatically going to scale. I'm going to just hop over to this screen really quick and say thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about breaking through both those constraints, feel free to comment them below, or you can email me. I'll put that in my bio, excuse me. But again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more automation content or just agency content in general.